Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So while we speak, Sudarshan Prabhu is also speaking in Salt Lake City and just finishing their class. Okay, Srimad Bhagavad Gita class in Salt Lake City. And Bimal Krishna maybe will join us, let's see, but he was in the class and he commented, beautiful class, Sudarshan Prabhu, ki jai. Okay, so that's lots of things going on all over the world. And when those things are Krishna conscious things, the world becomes auspicious. Otherwise, as our dear Munindra Mohan Prabhu commented while looking down on Lekko, the nearby city, when we're up in the mountains, looking down on the city and saying, just how much karma is going on down there. Like every square meter, something going on. So if every square meter, some dedication can go on, just think what a wonderful world it would be. All right, so now you know I'm on Facebook. I have another connection, so I better leave Salt Lake City. Oh, shh. I better leave Salt Lake City, right? Silent. And go to back to basics. And let's see, back to basics. All right, so while we do this, dear devotees, let us start with Vandanam as we do, mini Vandanam. Okay, I can see you all on Facebook now too. Vandeham Sri Guru, Sri Uttapada Kamalang, Sri Guru Vaishnavanscha, Sri Rupam Sagrajata, Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam, Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitanscha. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmalitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvije Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right, dear devotees, today is where we are. It's the day after the good day for starting new works, and the new works of the Jagannath chariots has just begun too. And in Thailand, Paramananda Prabhu and the team headed by Krishna Priya Devidasi, then they have just started some new works. They've started the construction of the temple of the Golden Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu at the Govinda Farm ashram. So maybe we can hear from them in just a moment, but I see that Bimal Krishna just joined us, and I see that Bimal Krishna on Facebook was watching the same as I was watching for a short while at least, means in the Bhagavad Gita class of Sudarshan Prabhu in the Salt Lake City, Sweet Lake City ashram. So Bimal Krishna, we can ask you for a little summary of his class, or a couple of points from his class, just after a minute or two, because, or 4 or 5, because we'll hear first from Paramananda Prabhu, and then you could perhaps share something, because you did make a comment that it was a wonderful class. So wonderful things are for sharing. When we get sweets, then we say, oh, you got something wonderful, please share some sweets. So we'll come to Bimal Krishna Prabhu in a moment with your, if you're happy to do so, Bimal Krishna Prabhu. And in the meantime, Paramananda Prabhu, we lost Paramananda Prabhu. Oh, now Paramananda Prabhu is with an associate, Mohan Ananda Prabhu. He's arrived to the Shanghai farm. So, am I frozen or are they frozen? Was I frozen? Leela Moy, was I frozen or were they frozen?
We're not frozen, Maharaj.
Oh, you're just sitting very still like good yogis. Okay, there is life. Mohan Ananda Prabhu, welcome. Dandavat. Dandavat. Over to you. A little report after the Chandan Yatra day, the first day of Chandan Yatra. And Kamala is to everyone, how can we join future classes in Sweet Lake City? Okay, then we'll answer that in a moment. I'll put a link in the box. Paramananda Prabhu, kindly.
Dandavat. So, as you probably already know, yesterday on the Aksaya Tritiya and Chandan Yatra of Lord Jagannath. So, you know that Jagannath is preparing for his trip to Vrindavan, actually. So there are lots of small festivals happening, lots of ritual parts are also happening with their expressions of the Lord's sweet will. We may think, oh, this ritual, that ritual, unnecessary, but no. Everything in Jagannath Puri is expression of the Lord's sweet will. And it's exactly like he wants it to be, which was also proved by that story when Ramanujacharya, who was traveling around India and setting standards, temple worship standards. He was a big acharya at that time. So naturally, priests and pandits would listen to him. And he also arrived to Jagannath Puri. And then he's saying, oh, this is not correct, that is not correct. I have never seen anything like that anywhere else. You guys should change it. This is the standard we're following, so you must follow the standard. So he challenged the pandits for the debate, and the debate was supposed to happen the next day, but Ramanujacharya went to sleep in Jagannath Puri, but woke up in Kurmakshetra. So gently, Lord Jagannath transported him together with his bedding to Kurmakshetra and appeared in his dream and said, well, if you want to change anything, here is your place. You're very eager to do that service, but here is the place. It's almost falling apart. Nobody's worshiping properly. You do it here. But in Jagannath Puri, I am the boss. And whatever my servitors do, they do it perfectly according to my desire. So please, with all due respect, do not interfere, do not disturb them. Anyhow, that was the little bit of a Jagannath Puri updates. So Chandan Yatra, and as we know, Sri Govinda, the Vijay Vigraha of Jagannath is going on boat in Narendra Sarovar, correct, Maharaj?
Going on in Narendra Sarovar, yes, for 21 days.
Yes. So some pastimes are happening. And then after that, Lord will get sick. And then, correct?
If whether it's immediately after, no, it's later, Prabhu. That's just before the Rath Yatra. So it will be later, but not just after that.
I mean, later on, but after concluding this particular pastime, which is connected to water pastimes, he will get a little
Okay.
sick.
Yes.
And then after that, he will retreat and get well just before the Rath Yatra. And then the Rath Yatra festival will start. But anyhow, yesterday was also a very auspicious day, astrologically very auspicious day to start anything new, or just start anything auspicious. I mean, we may think, oh, okay, this is the auspicious moment. Let's start something that will benefit us. It will have exactly the opposite result. So we should remember that whatever we start should somehow be connected to the service world. It's Lord's anyway. So yesterday was that day, Aksaya Tritiya. And on that day, the beginning, the construction started of the temple that was envisioned by Srila Govinda Maharaj for Thailand. It was his long-standing desire to have a Thai-style temple. As you know, Govinda Maharaj visited Thailand numerous times, and one of our daily activities, at least few times a week, was to go and see different Buddhist temples. And sometimes he would meet the monks, sometimes he will photograph and comment, and we had different discussions with Govinda Maharaj. And at some point, I'm having a discussion about the future Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mata temple construction. I'm asking details. How would he like it to be built, in what style? Traditional style like we have in Navadvip, or some other style? Govinda Maharaj said, just like Thai temple, I like. And I was a little bit surprised hearing that. And I actually asked again. I thought, this is just my habit. I probably annoyed Govinda Maharaj by repeatedly asking same questions, but really it's important. And again, I asked, we're just there at the temple, the Thai temple. I said, just like that, Govinda Maharaj said, yes, I like this style. I want this style of temple to be built in Thailand. So this is happening right now. And as you know, during the last Kartik festival, we had the temple Mandir Pratishta, or something like that, the ceremony of Ananta Shesh being, the Murti being deposited in the corner area of the future temple with all the auspicious objects. It was a wonderful event. And some devotees are still remembering that wonderful event. It was very ecstatic, very unusual, very mystical. So we're just here to facilitate, we're facilitators in that way. We're the instrument through whom, and this is our good fortune again, the Lord will expresses itself. There was no plan, nothing. It's just happened through the heart of the devotees. The Lord's desire became known, and we went along with that, trying not to resist, trying to be somehow useful, trying to be utilized in that service. And so many devotees, they contributed towards the construction of the temple, which is also wonderful. We don't want to just build a building ourselves. We want everyone to put a part of their heart, a part of their energy into that process. Like we heard from Srila Saraswati Thakur when he was collecting for the temple in Calcutta. And quickly devotees collected from one wealthy follower of Sri Saraswati Thakur. But Saraswati Thakur wasn't so pleased. He said, no, this is not what I meant. I meant you collect 1 rupee from, I don't know how many, 100,000, 1 million of people. I want that. I want everybody to participate. I want everybody to have the opportunity to do that seva. He also commented that I'm not seeking to build a building. I want the temple to be established in everyone's heart. And this is actually where it starts. So this temple, the physical manifestation of the temple, is extension of the temple built in devotee's heart. This is how we see it. No devotee, no devotion, no service, no temple. It becomes a useless building, a pile of bricks, nothing more than that. So when we think about constructing a temple, first we have to think about the devotees, and that's how Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj went on. First, the facilities for the Vaishnavas, for the servitors. That must be established, and that was already established here. And then feeling and hearing Lord's desires through the Vaishnavas, through their heartfelt expression, then we can proceed further. See if we're ready to establish something more substantial to facilitate the service of the devotees gathering together. And this is what's happening here. This is how it should be seen in a proper light, not just another building with the Murti in it. So first we need the heart of the Vaishnava, heart of the devotee present in the middle of all of that. And actually not just one heart, but many hearts with the temples built in them. And by the grace of Srila Govinda Maharaj, by the grace of Srila Guru Maharaj, and all our Guru Varga, by the grace of Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, and all of you, it is already happening. There is, I said yesterday, there is no turning back, as I've been watching the machines excavating the holes for the pillars, the foundation pillars. I said there is no turning back. Like if there was, but anyhow. And yesterday we also had an auspicious arrival of Mohan Ananda Prabhu, whom you all know. He's a worldwide famous personality, a worldwide famous devotee, and a great servitor of Srila Govinda Maharaj. So maybe
keep going, you're talking well.
Couple of words from him.
Dhanavad Maharaj, pranams to you and all the devotees. Lots of love, lots of purple love from Chiang Mai. What a wonderful time from China. All the devotees there remember you with great fondness, and in their way of saying, they send you their pranams and dandavat to you. They started, yesterday being an auspicious day, they also started the collection for the temple here in Govinda Farm. They got a box out and money flowed in, and they are starting to collect it, and they want to participate in this very much because it is a dear wish of our Srila Gurudev, and so they are participating. And yesterday being an auspicious day, they started that particular program. So it's going to be very good, and they're going to try, if they can, come here in October. Nalina Devi is the lead actor down there. She's got everyone corralled around her, and it's a large country. You don't realize how big it is until you go. And then they're pretty spread out, but they came together one particular Sunday afternoon, and they were very, very happy to regale their stories of association with yourself, Paramananda Prabhu, and very, very happy to be taking this particular path in their lives. Wonderful, wonderful servitors, dedicated people, disciplined, focused. I was so impressed, and I was very inspired by them, very much so. Then they took me to the Great Wall. We walked about 10 kilometers on there, but I couldn't find any purple spot. I thought I'd paint a little corner there in purple, but it wasn't possible. Too many security. But it was a wonderful exhibition of the Chinese character and their strength to build something lasting hundreds of years in total dedication to something they believe in. And in the same way, these devotees, they are very, very dedicated and really, truly very surrendered to the feet of our Guru Varga. I was blown away by their service mood and their desire to do the practice in every which way. They really led the way, and I followed. It was a great time. I'll give you more of a debrief later when I send you my report and talk to you, but otherwise that's from China for you. And here I am spending some time with Prabhuji, and then I will be meeting you in London shortly. And going to join the Carnival in Rio de Janeiro. Waiting for that. Brazil, here we come.
Be prepared. So Brazil, be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared. Lock up your mothers and your daughters.
Hare Krishna.
Anyhow, full of fun, full of joy, and full of love, Maharaj.
And Prabhu, so kind of, you're not only talking to me, actually everybody's getting to share your enthusiasm and to get to share your distribution of Srila Gurudev's heart and halo throughout China. And I also agree, going to China, for me, now I did go a few times to China, of course, only to the devotees and with the devotees. And I have to say, it was very favorable field, so much sincerity of inquiry by the public. And once the penny drops, once they catch, oh, this is what we're meant to do, then really they try. And as you pointed out, at one time, they're more or less in one place because they actually started from the student, from the university, but on graduating, then Naturally, when you graduate from university, you go to different places, to your families or to your work in different cities. And so throughout the country now, lots of devotees, but spread out, and it is a huge country.
Yes.
Very clean, very organized, very dedicated. And our devotees are dedicated in their material life, means that you have to be somewhat focused. But there is, it's the land of opportunity. We saw in the material plane, really the land of opportunity, and very clean, and you don't see any nonsense on the streets or anything like that. It is
none.
Appearing very exemplary, but of course, what's missing is Krishna. When Krishna is in the center, then there is a very positive, or the positive purpose of life, and then that dedicating spirit, then when that's directed to Krishna, everything becomes perfect.
Yes, very true, Maharaj.
Somehow Krishna is always missing, Maharaj. That's his nature.
Unless we're with him.
But there was one story about Bimal Thakur. As you know, in the later years, he became blind. He took his own eyes. And as an elderly sadhu, he's walking and composing wonderful verses. And at some point, a young boy was helping him, taking him by the hand here and there. And one day, this boy just ran off, just disappeared. But Bimal Thakur understood. I mean, it's a lila. I mean, it's a wonderful lila. That the boy was none other than Krishna himself. And now he ran off. And then he commented, "You may run off, but you will never escape the cage of my heart." Meaning that Krishna is always, you can say, affectionately and lovingly imprisoned in the heart of his devotee by the power of love. So in that case, Krishna can be always, like Mahaprabhu is saying, if you do what I say, if you follow me, if you have devotion to me, wherever you are, wherever you go, I will never leave you. But on one condition, Yare Dekhi Tare Kahe Krishna Upadesh. Whomever you meet, wherever you go, speak about Krishna, sing his glories. And in China, we were discussing with Mohan Ananda Prabhu yesterday. Like we pointed out, devotees are responsible. Right. Like sometimes we hear this tendency from devotees, oh, we just want to move to the temple and do nothing. And there's some kind of a show of some sort of abnegation or a so-called renunciation. But Srila Govinda Maharaj pointed many times. He said, I want my devotees, I wanted all the devotees to be successful in this world so that they can be more effective in their service, so they can utilize more energy in the service of Krishna. This is my desire. I don't want people to renounce their work, renounce their business. No, find a way. Like he commented once that, one personality was contemplating taking sannyas, and then the question came, then what to do with the rest of the, business that was built, that was generating good income. Then Govinda Maharaj's answer was not to abandon it. He said, find a way for it to continue. This is your responsibility. It's not that you just leave everything and just go into the forest or the ashram and just chant the Mahamantra and do pretty much nothing, or even like go preaching. No, if it's already there, it's expression of Lord's desire, find a way. It must function, it must go on. So it's good to become successful. It's good to have responsible position. It's good to have responsible job, but using the results of that in the service. And that's what we see in China.
100%, 100% dedication. They work like a Trojan, non-stop. They just work. And then they get a break. They do their worship and they get on with it. Yeah. Very inspirational, really. Very inspirational. Good. Really good, dedicated souls in the service of our Guru Varga. Absolutely.
Jai. So let us come from the east to the far west, the far east, or medium medium far east to the quite extremely far west. Bimal Krishna was with us still? Yes, Bimal Krishna. So Salt Lake City Bhagavad Gita class just finished, and Kamala did it in the chat box. Then there is information. Shara Shiramani, I was trying to type something, and then Shara Shiramani, she beat me to it with the accurate information. And so do copy and paste that. And a source of nourishment, what can I say? It's one of the few places I go is to listen to the Salt Lake City classes at the, and means they do their morning class is 8 a.m., I believe. It says here, Friday reading by Gurudev or Gurumar starts 6:30. Bhagavad Gita starts between 6:30 and 7, okay? And Sunday Kirtan. Oh, that's on that channel, okay. And on just above that, Seva Rupa Devasi, she put the Facebook channel, which is SCS Mission, which is actually where I see things. So now I have a new YouTube channel to bookmark, so we can get those specific classes there. All right. So very good to hear that. And at the moment, Sri Lanka is here in Italy, just a stone's throw away, not very far away, but is walking distance away for those who like to walk a little bit. Yes, she gives the morning classes when she's there, but the devotees have been keeping the classes going in her absence. So well done to you all in Salt Lake City. And Bimal Krishna, yes, here we are. We're all eager, we're all ears to hear from Bhagavad Gita through Sudarshan Prabhu, through Bimal Krishna Prabhu today.
Dhanyavad Maharaj. Well, I'll just start out by saying there's no way I can even come close to, let's just say this, the class is on SCS Mission's Facebook page, and I would recommend listening to that, because then you can hear actually the beauty of it. I can't do anywhere near the justice that Sudarshan. Sudarshan is just an incredible devotee, and the way that he speaks and his understanding and realization is far beyond my own, but it's always an inspiration to hear him and just his realization and the way he's able to articulate the things that he does. But the classes they're every Wednesday night, and if you can actually go back and watch the classes on the Facebook page as well, on the link that Sevarupa Didi posted. But just they're reading Bhagavad Gita, they're in chapter 18, and they were reading the Sarva Dharma Prityaja Mamakam Sharanam Braja, and I don't know the rest of the verse, forgive me, but giving up all religions and just surrender unto me, Krishna is saying. And Sudarshan just goes on to talk about the verse, but he does it so sweetly. Like, it's one of Sudarshan, when he talks about Sharanagati, he has such a deep understanding, and he's able to articulate it in such a beautiful way that's always just inspiring. And like I said, I can't do anything justice. I would just recommend watching the class. But Sudarshan, he just talks about, there was a question, Haridev Prabhu, which I also want to give him some credit. He posts these classes every morning. He does the camera work and the sound, and he's been doing a lot of great seva so that we can all take part in these classes. So he's doing a fantastic job, and he takes that on. So, and also the YouTube is these classes go Facebook and YouTube. You can watch on either platform, like whatever works for people, but they're the same class on these different platforms. But sorry, my brain goes 100 different places all at the same time. But anyway, Sudarshan's talking about surrender. Haridev Prabhu asked, he says, so what is the correlation between bhakti and sharanagati? What is the correlation? And ultimately Sudarshan said, well, Shuddha Bhakti and Sharanagati are the same thing ultimately, because we're surrendering, and our service should be in surrendering to what is the desire of Krishna. But Maharaj, it leads me to a question I actually have, because this class brought it up. And just for myself in my own daily practice, in my reflections, and I've even thought about this. This first came to me back when I was staying at the Mat in India, and I just, when I do some inner reflection, I think a lot of the time, like, I feel like I'm trying to do some kind of seva, but I know that it's not pure, because I when I like search deep and do some introspection, I realize that ultimately I'm doing all these things because I'm tired of suffering. I don't want to suffer any longer. So like, we're all searching for pleasure, and we know that the highest source of pleasure, the rasa is, it's coming from Krishna. But so in some way I'm still selfish. I'm still thinking about myself. And my question is, at what point does our service kind of go from trying to gain, because we all know, and I know, like, deep down, like, that's not the purpose, and I don't want that, but that's where I'm at, when if I'm being sincere and honest, like, I'm tired of suffering, and I'm trying to search for something to escape that. So maybe, but at what point though does some transition come and to where it becomes more of a pure thing? Because obviously we're practicing. It's not like doing any kind of seva, but does that make sense? Or
it does make sense, and also we are in the position of practitioners, and then we've been told that then in due course of time, as with the anatta nivritti, as the impure things leave us, and as we become constant in our practice, then genuine ruchi, proper taste will come. And then once that taste comes, then we are safe and sound. And we can, safe and sound, we always have to be careful whenever we're in this material world. But then, safe and sound from the idea that, I'm doing these things for my own benefit. I will get relief. I, me, mine, this idea. And then we just realize this is what everyone's life is meant for. Why were we so reluctant to be a devotee? Why even coming to devotional life? We're holding on to so many things of the material world, thinking that they are I, me, and mine. That we are all, every part of creation is for the Lord's service, and so am I. And when we've got that little bit of taste from the grace of Guru and Gauranga, the grace of the Lord, then we can say, I don't think at that point we're going to be saying, I'm just doing it for me. Rather, this is the purpose of my life. It's what I'm meant to do. It is actually the Dharma of the living entity when all of the identity, or the misidentity, false ego is removed. But it's good to have that little self-analysis. That's what Gurudev's always saying. We should examine ourselves. What are we doing which is right, maybe, but what are we doing which is wrong? What remnants are still there which I've got to work on? And the side of selflessness, we always have to work on in this world. But Bimal Krishna, you don't strike me as a kind of person who's doing this with an ulterior motive. You're wanting to be a devotee, you're wanting to catch that thread, and when we get a little glimpse of it, we want to be in that thread, that descending current of grace, the current which is descending, which coming to catch us, to take us up, but it's the current from above. And this is the recognition of family. This is the recognition of heart to heart. And really, it is a great fortune to have some recognition of what Guru Maharaj and Gurudev gave. Even out of thousands of devotees, how many click when they hear Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj? Click means they feel this is the voice from home. Here we've got our home guardian telling us about our home. And then trying to adjust our lives, not just entertaining ourselves with some knowledge that we can share and talk about, this, but rather engaging our lives and our consciousness day by day in the way that's been directed by Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, by Srila Saraswati Thakur. And we have professional psychologists. I don't know what the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist, but we have those who are professional in the science of the mind and and helping people with their mental problems, because physical problems, we know they're very apparent, you can see them, but mental problems may not be so apparent. But we have one psychologist or psychiatrist who is a professional, and she has become a devotee, and she now sees that actually everything in the material world, that all of these troubles, they're solved if we can just be a devotee of the Lord, because that's our proper psychic condition, if you like. I mean, psychiatry means we've got a material body, a material mind, but the material mind, when it's getting nourishment from a proper source, when we hear from a proper source, then the mind itself is coming to understand that, oh, there's something more than me, and we need to direct our life in that search for reality. And then it's not just about who am I in the sense of I am going to become self-realized, but just to see, actually, I'm meant to be a servant of Krishna, and I hear he's very wonderful, and I should try. Let's follow the advices of those who are giving perfect advice without anything like ulterior motive for themselves or anything else. And there we've got that pure distribution from Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada. In this modern age, in the English language, sorry for those of you whose language is not native English, but the state of the planet Earth at the time of Srila Saraswati Thakur, and now is that English is the prominent international language, and it is so now, and they've given in English the international language, the international message, the universal message of love of God, which is not a selfish thing, but a selfless thing. So let us just happily do what we're meant to do. And we may look at ourselves and think, okay, I'm in that category that Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita too, as we're talking of Gita, that we accept we're in the category of that we're suffering, we've come for relief, but also those who are not physically suffering, they're coming to inquire, they really sincerely want to inquire the purpose of life, and why am I in this world where I have been suffering, will be suffering, is guaranteed, pretty much. So waking up to our proper purpose, and this is the wake-up call. Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandravali. How long are we then going to be just in illusion on the lap of the witch named Maya, as we sing each morning? So we don't have to analyze too much at what point am I going to be selfless. One thing we can think too is children, how they think when they're 5 years old, how they think when they're 10 years old, how they think when they're 15 years old, how they think when they're 20 years old, when they're 25. I mean, we are all children, and we were younger children. And if we look back at our own physical life, we had, you can say we were the same person when we were 5, but hopefully we're a little bit different in our thinking. And so physically, in the mental, physical world, with the body grows, our mentality grows. But if we look back impartially on our devotional, children life, that when we were, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, etc., then we can also look back that there's a subtle change. It doesn't happen, overnight that suddenly I'm a 21-year-old. I got something like that. We take our nourishment in the world, and our body gets nourished, and our subtle body also getting nourished. And so in our devotional life, we take the nourishment and do the practices, and we're getting nourished. And so we go along. And for some people, they will quickly, some people, many lives. But if we have sincerity, and that mood of surrender that we're always hearing about. But in one sense, surrender just means giving up all our things which are restricting us. It's not really surrender. If you are carrying a heavy load and you're walking along, and that heavy load is, you look inside the backpack and it's all completely unnecessary stuff. It's to renounce, the luxuries that you got in there. You got in the backpack a hair dryer and electric massager and all these things, and you're carrying it with you. Then, to renounce the hair dryer and the electric massage machine and all these other things that you're carrying with you, when really you're wanting to go on a journey to your home or something. And when you get home, you're going to find, oh, everything I need's here. There's already a hairdryer here and an electric massager. Do we really need those things? Anyway, I mean, the point is that when we get to our home, we're going to find all those things are there anyway. So surrender means renouncing the things which are resisting our devotional life. Really, it's not a unnatural thing, it's a natural thing. So when we know we've got this journey, then we shall be economical. And of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati book, dear devotees, please again go through that book. Then one by one, when we go through that, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us really the whole mood of living in the world. We live in the world, whether we live in a home which is an ashram, or whether we live in a home which, has got wife, children, parents, and everything else inside. We're living in a home which is the Lord's home. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also giving us that this isn't just to be a renunciate. This is to utilize energy. And on the theme of a little earlier about being energetic, doing things, being responsible in the world, really, Srila Gurudev did not appreciate laziness. And he did not appreciate, and I don't have the gallery view over, I'm not implying anything for anybody here in case anyone does this, but he didn't appreciate that devotees take money from the government, find ways to be lazy, and then just take money from the government for, unemployment benefit or something. Gurudev wanted that the devotees will be responsible, but responsible in Krishna consciousness. And so this is the key, that not to be lazy, otherwise we're going to be lazy about Krishna consciousness too. And an idle mind is a devil's workshop, and then all bad habits come, apathy to devotional life also comes. So, I mean, again, the whole mentality behind it. But when Gurudev heard about, devotees, so what do? Oh, they're unemployed. But what do they do? And then Gurudev trying to see the activities, the dedicated activities of devotees. It's not a profession to get money from the government while not doing anything. So we must be, Gurudev liked that we will be responsible citizens. Of course, we know there are devotees who do such things. It's not condemn every devotee. It's very, when we make comments, we can get a little accused of pointing out devotees. We're not. We're sharing what Gurudev liked and what Gurudev, what he appreciated. And energy, Gurudev appreciated, but energy in the right direction. So then we can also share Gurudev's expression of Guru Maharaj, who, by the way, quoted Hitler. And Hitler, he told apparently, and this we heard from Guru Maharaj and from Gurudev explaining this, and in this category of laziness, that 4 kinds of persons in this world: the energetic and intelligent, the energetic and lazy. Oh no, sorry, the energetic and intelligent, the energetic and foolish, and the lazy and intelligent, and the lazy and foolish. And so out of these categories, the lazy and the foolish can be engaged in some activity. You just got to have a whip or a carrot or something. You've got to have something to motivate them. Now they're lazy and they're foolish, so they can be given some product. If you don't do anything, you're not going to eat. So come on, do something. So you give them something to do and somehow engage them. So that's the lazy and the foolish. The lazy and the intelligent, then they're put in the positions of the strategists and those who are in the command center, as it were. So they can see they're intelligent, but they're lazy. Other people are going to do things, but they got the brain, to see what to be done by the armies, etc. And then out of the energetic and the intelligent, they're the ones who are the leaders on the field. They're energetic, they can motivate everyone. They have energy and they are intelligent. They can quickly adjust to changing circumstances. They use their brain. They're not a machine. They're very smart. So they'll be in the position of the generals that are in the field. But the last category of the energetic but foolish, then to stay far away from that section, because they must do something, but they're going to do wrong because they're foolish. So this way, everything has some qualification. Just to be energetic is not sufficient. And just, anyway, some examples. And Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, they chuckle at this. They have a little laugh, saying, oh, this is the world where we are. So, knowing all this, we'll try to put ourselves at least under the care of those who are intelligent. And so, really, the intelligent and the energetic, that is Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, with their energy at a ripe old age with so many challenges physically and in the world. I mean, so many things. Look at Srila Prabhupada's life, look at Guru Maharaj's life, look at Gurudev's life. We've got these three great generals who are energetic and intelligent in the absolute sense, with the proper view of the whole story of life. So this way, we always want to know, we should always want to know the mood of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, what they appreciated, what they didn't appreciate. And so sometimes we have that opportunity to share these things. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. And looking at you all here, you are all intelligent. I cannot say how much energetic everybody is, but I think you're all energetic too. And Rupa Nuga Prabhu, he ran his own business or businesses and so many things, and then he retired, but he can't be lazy while he retires. He still can't stop doing business when business comes his way, when he sees, and he's writing books, doing things. And so you see, that nature that always to be active is a good thing. Look, there he is, in under the Lord's sunshine. Your sun will come. The sun first hits Australia at Mount Warning, just beside his house. Well, up the hill beside his house. Mount Warning is where it first touches Australian soil. And then from there, the sun is crossing Thailand and India and so many places. And we will get their sun soon here. And some of you have got yesterday's sun. Who's got yesterday's sun? Bimal Krishna, we can see the sun shining through the through the window onto the wall behind you. The world is amazing. World is amazing. And, oh, anyway, complete side point, but here in Vila Govinda just now, the garden, it's spring. So Krishna says, of seasons, I am flower-bearing spring. And really, a devotee garden and a regular garden also are quite different. Everything in the garden is there for the Lord's satisfaction and the satisfaction of the devotees. And really, it is a little step like Vrindavan. And one devotee yesterday, during the Italian Zoom, which is 6:45 p.m., on whatever channels it is that they do the Zoom, then one devotee said, when we were outside, we were doing the program, we did the program at Srila Gurudev's Pushpa Samadhi, and one devotee said, oh, looks just like Vrindavan. And then I thought, yes, why not? All these plants, everything here is for the satisfaction of Guru and Gauranga, and Radha, Radharani, and Gopinath, and Giriraj. And really the devotees over the years, again, the ashram, just like, you know, the body growing up and our devotional life growing up, the ashram didn't suddenly manifest like this. It's grown up over the years. And yesterday evening, we had actually a very sweet program because we had all 5 pillars of the ashram here, which means we had Shyama Sundar Prabhu, who's very active and traveling. And Shyama Sundar Prabhu came here, and his family house is not far away, but he's not often here in Italy. But he came, and most of the devotees, suddenly after all our recent festivals, they have to go back to do their duties. So most of the devotees have gone, and another group, they went to France, our youth group, going to conquer France with Krishna consciousness. And actually, we're left here with basically our established family. And I also commented, it's very wonderful to be with the whole family of Vila Govinda here. And Shyama Sundar Prabhu, Madhurananda Prabhu, Shanti Moy Devi Dansi, Munindra Mohan Prabhu, Krishna Kanta Devi Dansi. They've grown up the ashram along with the energy of so many devotees. And the ashram continues to evolve, to grow. And Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, really, he's been a champion of the gardening. How much attention and affection he gives to each aspect. Hare Krishna. Anyway, all side points. But there we've got also an example of devotees being devotees. They basically know nothing else except devotional life. That association is very good for us all. Hare Krishna. What was the question? There wasn't a question, was there? Hare Krishna. Oh, chat box. There's something in the chat box. Open the box. Savaraman Parityaja. Sharashiramani. Oh, yes, each morning, 8 a.m. Yeah, 8 a.m. Times do change a little bit, but 8 a.m. Salt Lake City time. So do keep an eye on the time during summers and winters and when the clocks change and all these things. Yes, then daily class going on in front of the deity there. And so Sevarupa, she's put the word by word of Bimal Krishna quoting Savaraman Parityaja. I think you were quoting that, yes. Mamikang Sharanang Vraja Aham Tvang Sarvapabhavyo Moksha Yishyami Ma Shuchaha. Hare Krishna. And I listened to Bhagavad Gita this week, the whole Bhagavad Gita, again. I mean, how many times we listened? And there was something a little happy at the end this time too of the Bhagavad Gita, because it does say something, about if one doesn't get joy by, I forget the wording, I shouldn't make a quote without the exact wording. Anyway, basically it was saying that, it's good to have joy on reading the Bhagavad Gita. And I have to say that in some little way, we have some joy to hear. I was hearing the Bhagavad Gita, but we have some joy to hear Bhagavad Gita. It cannot be denied that we do have joy to hear these things. And we've got so much, almost as no excuse for not being able to, hear regularly or to be in classes regularly and nourish ourselves. If we're in Navadip, or the time we're in Navadip, basically everything is physical, means we're going to be physically in this class, physically in this kirtan, physically in that kirtan. But now we do have this opportunity due to all of the, the recordings and the absolute availability of so many recordings through the links. Sevarup is putting a link there to Srila Govinda Veg Soul. Is that the YouTube channel? Veg Soul is their vegetarian cooking and for cooking classes.
It's on the Wednesday classes. I picked it up on this channel.
Okay.
The Wednesday recorded classes.
They don't do Wednesday cooking classes too, do they? Secretly?
Not that I saw.
It says Govinda, Srila Govinda Veg Soul. Veg Soul is a vegetarian, of course vegetarian, like little business thing that they do, which maintains the temple, by the way, with the kiosk outside and the making of cakes and things and being commissioned for birthday cakes, etc., which are pure veg. I mean, and also they cater for non-gluten, those who don't take gluten, like Paramananda Prabhu. I mean, really, people get reactions. Some people get reactions to these things. Okay, link to the Wednesday evening class. I'm just going to take a quick look. Yes, that's the same link I go to for a Wednesday evening class. And Wednesday, oh, well, I have the Zoom link. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So it's live on YouTube.
No, it's
Okay.
the recorded.
Okay. Anyway, here is okay, it's in Italian, but here's the Zoom ID for that Wednesday class. Sorry, Italian Wednesday evening, but it's in Italian. Well, if I'm here, we have some English too, but for Priyanana and other Italian understanding, sorry, Priya Sundari and other Italian understanding good souls, maybe Harini and Shara Shiromani also picked up quite a bit of Italian. I do not know. Anyway, it is there. So, yes, we have this chance to chat away. And, oh yes, here devotees started new things. And I must admit, I didn't, but the devotees, I think everyone here, except me, did in fact plant some plants, like spontaneously yesterday in the garden. Everybody was doing something. And whether knowingly that it was, Chandan Yatra is a good day to start something, but planting plants and talking to the plants. And okay, I helped by chanting to the plants that they were planting. But in different places of the garden, they were planting plants in Krishna's garden. And I repeatedly say it's a miracle garden. To see gardening, to see vegetables, flowers, and all these things coming from the earth, it's still a miracle to me. Krishna's wonderful garden. And then Goloka Vrindavan, such a land. All right, dear devotees, going to leave you all. Oh, what happened to my Facebook? My Facebook turned off, but I was watching Facebook. Oh, now I lost, not lost, but I just take a quick look on Facebook in case somebody, and because Madhava Prabhu is often there and others, just in case any question or comment came. So, oh, yes, no. On my Facebook, things don't show up. I just reconnected, so I don't see anything. But we know devotees have been there, and we're very happy to know that there are devotees with us on Facebook, on Zoom, and in the recorded version. And devotees do send notes saying, I see every recorded version. And we're very happy to know that you do. And as you all know, I also see recorded versions of various things, and I'm very happy to do. All right, we'll leave you all to be busy. And here's Krishna Priya just popped in at Govinda Farm Ashram, Govinda Farm Ashram, where it's the second day of construction of the temple of Gauranga, Golden Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. All right. Nothing else? No? Okay. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai to all of our guardians ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. And please continue steadily. We'll meet you next time from another location. And okay, we're from another location. We expect to be in London on our Sunday, some of yours Saturday evening. And from there, we'll meet you next time. And let us continue with back to basics. Let us all make our lives successfully and successful by doing the right things, and just because we should, and not out of any business with the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. All best wishes. See you again very soon. Dandavat. Hare Krishna, Ganga Lila Devi, dancing and chanting and clapping. Okay, time to go. Nadi Priya, Sharashiromani, those who not mention Lavanyamoi in Riga, she's up early. And Kamala, very good always to be in touch. I hope everything going well there on the East Coast. And there must be, I think, a little late at night. Aparajita, also in Thailand. Priya Sundari of Thailand, now in Brazil. And Sevarupa, and South Africa, and Vrindavaneshwari, definitely late at night in Brazil. Ami Ashchi.